English for tech support, helping customers with patience and clarity. Introduction. You know this feeling. A person calls. They sound upset. Their internet is broken. Their printer is stuck. Their computer is not working right. And they do not speak your language well. It is a hard moment. You must know their problem. They must know your answer. It is hard to connect when there are tech problems and language problems together. But what if you could help them easily, even if English is not your first language? What if you could make them feel better instead of upset? We will learn how to do this. This book, English for Tech Support, helping customers with patience and clarity, will help you. It is for you, the good tech support person, who wants to do a great job by talking well. This book is about good English for tech support. This means more than just knowing many English words. It means using English like a special tool, a tool to fix problems and make people happy. Think about a mechanic's tools. Having tools is good, but knowing how to use them to fix a car is what is really important. Good English for tech support means using your English to listen well, explain things simply, be patient, and show you care. It means using words to connect with the customer, helping them fix their tech problems. This is very important because when you talk well, customers are happier. They feel you hear and understand them. This makes them trust you and the company. It also helps fix problems faster. Less confusion means less time going back and forth. And of course, talking clearly and calmly makes you look good and skilled. We believe that by learning good English for tech support, you will be much better at helping customers, no matter how hard their tech problems are or how upset they are. So, what will you learn in this book? First, we will learn to truly listen. This means understanding not just words, but feelings, even with different accents or tech words you do not know. You will learn to make hard tech ideas into simple steps. For example, instead of saying restart the computer's basic settings, we will learn to say something like, start the computer's main setup again. This is easier for most people to understand. We will also learn to ask good questions. Good questions help you find the problem's main cause fast. A big part of this will be learning how to help customers who are upset. We will learn ways to calm them, show you understand, and build a good feeling. This can turn a bad situation into a good one. You will learn to use polite and professional words that make customers feel respected. We will practice giving clear steps, one by one, so they are easy to follow. And, it is important, we will learn how to tell people what to expect. This means clearly saying what you can and cannot do, so everyone knows. You will learn ways to stay patient, even if they ask the same question many times or are very upset. We will learn how to explain things very clearly, so nothing is missed and no one is confused. What makes this book special? This is not a normal English book. This book is made just for tech support jobs. Every sentence, every example, every idea is made to help you do well in your job. We focus on using English in real tech support situations. We mix English skills with important people skills like patience and understanding. This book is for tech support people who want to talk better with customers. It is for IT workers in different countries. It is for anyone who helps customers with tech problems and wants to talk better in English. Even if English is not your first language, this book will make you strong. Are you ready to make your customer support better? Let's start this journey together. Together, we will build your confidence and skill in good English for tech support. 1. Learning basic English for tech support. When you start in tech support, it can feel hard, especially if English is not your first language. You might worry about understanding the person you are helping, or if they will understand you. But here is something important. You do not need perfect English to be a good tech support person. What you do need is to learn the right basic English. This is the first, most important step to build what we call good English for tech help. It means using English to understand problems and explain answers clearly, with kindness and a calm voice. Think about it. Many people who need help with technology are also finding it difficult. Sometimes they might not speak English very well either. So using simple, clear English becomes a bridge. It is not about using fancy words. It is about being understood when it matters most. When someone needs help with their computer, their internet, or their programs. This part of the book will show you exactly what those basic English skills are and why they are very helpful in your job. Why basic English is important in tech support. Why is learning even a little bit of English very important for tech support? It is simple. Talking and listening. When someone calls you, they have a problem. They need you to understand the problem and then guide them to fix it. If you cannot understand their words or if they cannot understand your instructions, the problem stays a problem. Imagine someone's internet is not working. They might call you and say, "My internet is broken." Or maybe they say, "I can't get online." Or even, "The Wi-Fi is gone." For you, as the helper, knowing these simple phrases is key. Internet is not working, can't get online, and Wi-Fi is gone all mean the same thing. A connection problem. If you understand these basic ways of saying it, you can start thinking about how to fix it right away. On the other side, you need to give instructions. You might need to ask them to restart your computer, or check the cables, or click the button. If you can say these simple things clearly, the person can follow along. Even if their English is also basic, simple words and short sentences are much easier for everyone to understand. It is not about showing off how much English you know. It is about getting the job done. It is about using English as a tool to solve problems and make the person feel helped, not more confused. This is the main idea of good English for tech help, using language to connect and solve problems. Important word groups for tech support. To start building your tech support English tools, let's look at the words you will use most often. Think of these as your main building blocks. Words for problems. These are the words people will use to say what is wrong, and the words you can use to ask about it. Common problems. Slow. When a computer or internet takes a long time to do things. My computer is very slow today. Not working doesn't work. When something stops working. My printer is not working. The app doesn't work anymore. Error message. A message that shows up on the screen telling you there is a problem. I see an error message. What does error message 123 mean? Frozen. When a computer or app stops responding. My screen is frozen. The program is frozen. Disconnected, can't connect. When you lose an internet connection or cannot link two devices. I'm disconnected from the internet. I can't connect to the Wi-Fi. No sound, no picture. For problems with audio or video. There is no sound from my speakers. I have no picture on my TV. Won't turn on, won't start. When a device does not power up. My laptop won't turn on. The computer won't start. Action words. These are the words that tell what to do. You will use them to give instructions to the person or to explain what you are doing. For the person to do, click. To press a button on a mouse. Please click the next button. Type. To enter letters or numbers using a keyboard. Type your password. Open. To start a program or file. Open the email. Close. To stop a program or file. Close the window. Save. To keep your work. Save your document. Check. To look at something to make sure it is okay. Check the cables. Check your internet connection. Restart, reboot. To turn a device off and then on again. This fixes many problems. Please restart your computer. Turn off, turn on. Basic power actions. Turn off the printer. Turn on the router. Press to push a button. Press the power button. Wait to pause for a short time. Please wait a moment. For you, the helper, to do or explain. Look to see something. I'm looking at your account. See to perceive with your eyes. I see the problem now. Try to attempt something. Let's try this solution. Install to put new software on a computer. We need to install the update. Update to get the newest version of software. Your software needs an update. Fix to repair something. I think I can fix this for you. Explain to make something clear. Let me explain what happened. Names of devices and parts. Knowing the names of common tech items is very important. General, computer PC, the main machine. Laptop, a computer you can carry. Tablet, a device with a touchscreen. Phone, mobile phone, for talking and using apps. Screen monitor, what you look at. Keyboard, for typing. Mouse, for clicking and moving the pointer. Printer, to print papers. Scanner, to copy papers into the computer. Networking, internet, the worldwide network. Wi-Fi, wireless internet connection. Router, the device that sends out Wi-Fi. Modem, the device that connects you to your internet company. Cables, wires that connect devices, for example, power cable, internet cable. Software terms, software, program, app, the instructions that make a computer work. Website, a page on the internet. Email, electronic mail. Password, a secret word to access something. Username, account name, your name for logging in. File, a piece of information on a computer like a document or picture. Folder, a place to store files. Steps and phrases for solving problems. These are ready-made phrases that help guide someone through a solution. Try turning it off and on again. This is the magic phrase for many tech problems. Please check the cables. Are they plugged in tightly? What error message do you see on the screen? Can you tell me what happened just before the problem started? Let's try this. First, click here. Is the power light on? Have you tried restarting your router? Please wait while I check something on my end. Building this word list is like collecting tools for your toolbox. The more tools you have, the more problems you can fix. And remember, you do not need to know every single word. Start with the most common ones. Simple sentence structures. The power of short and direct. Once you have some words, you need to put them together. For tech support, the best sentences are short, clear, and direct. This is a main part of good English for tech help. Long, fancy sentences can confuse people, especially when they are already worried about a technical issue. Instead of, could you possibly explain in more detail the exact problem you are having with your device right now? Try, what is the problem with your computer? Or what is wrong? See the difference? The second option uses fewer words, simpler words, and gets straight to the point. This is much easier for anyone to understand. Here is how to build simple sentences. Subject plus verb plus object. This is the most basic structure. You need to click. Subject, you, verb, need, object. To click. The computer is slow. Subject, the computer, verb, is object, slow. I will restart the router. Subject, I, verb, will restart, object, the router. Asking simple questions. Use what, where, when, why, how, and do does did. What is the error message? Where's the power button? When did this start? How do I restart? Do you see the icon? Did you click save? Giving simple commands, imperative sentences. Start with a verb. Click here. Type your password. Restart the printer. Wait please. Using please. Always add please to be polite. It makes instructions gentler and friendlier. Please click the button. Please wait a moment. Why are short sentences so good? 1. Clarity. Fewer words mean less chance of misunderstanding. 2. Speed. You can get to the solution faster. 3. Confidence. When you speak in short, clear sentences, you sound more sure of yourself, and the person feels more sure that you know what you are doing. 4. Patience. It shows you are taking the time to explain things simply, which is part of being patient. Do not worry about sounding too simple. In tech support, simple is often best. It is the most effective way to communicate technical information. Listening carefully and confirming. Showing you understand when someone is explaining their problem. It is important they feel heard. Listening carefully means paying attention not just to the words, but also to the feeling behind them. And confirming is how you show you are listening and understanding. This is a very important part of good English for tech help. Here are some simple phrases to show you are listening and to check your understanding. Simple acknowledgements. These show you are still on the line and paying attention. Okay. I see. Aha. This is informal, but common when talking. Confirming understanding. This is where you make sure you heard correctly. So, you're saying then repeat what you think they said. So, you're saying the internet stopped working after you updated your software? Let me make sure I understand. The screen is frozen. 2. Using simple words and phrases. When someone calls for help, they often feel confused and a little upset. Their computer might not work, a program might stop suddenly, or they just don't know how something is supposed to work. In these times, our job in tech help is not only to fix the problem, but to make the person feel like we are listening, that we understand, and that we can help them. A big part of this is how we use words. We need to make sure our words are like clear signs that show the way, guiding them through the problem, not like a confusing puzzle of difficult words. This is the main idea of simple English for tech help, using our words to build a bridge, not a wall, between us and the person who needs help. One of the biggest problems we can create, often without knowing it, is by using special words that only people in our job know. Think of these special words like a secret code. For us in tech help, it's all the technical words, short names, and inside phrases we use every day. But for a customer, these can sound like a language they don't speak. When we use these special words, we don't just make it harder for them to understand, we also make them feel less smart and more worried. They might nod their head, pretending to understand, but inside, they probably feel lost and even more worried. This is not the connection we want. Our goal is to solve their problem, and that starts with making sure they can follow what we tell them. Let's look at some common examples. Instead of saying reboot your device, we can just say restart your computer or turn your phone off, and then on again. Reboot is a fine word for us, but restart is something everyone knows. When we talk about the user interface, we can just say screen or menu. It's the same idea, but much easier. If a customer is having trouble with their internet, we might talk about network latency or packet loss. But what they need to know is why their website is loading very slowly. So, instead of telling them all the technical details, we can say, it seems like your internet connection is a bit slow right now. The word troubleshoot is another one. We use it all the time, but for a customer, it might sound hard. An easier way to say it is figure out what's wrong or find the problem. The main thing is to always ask ourselves, is there a simpler word for this? Would my grandma understand this if she didn't know much about computers? It's also important to remember that when a customer calls, they usually care about two main things: what they need to do to fix their problem and how to do it. They want to take action. They want a solution. They don't usually want a long, technical reason why the problem happened, at least not at first. Explaining how a software problem works might be interesting to us, but for a customer who just wants their email to work, it can be too much and not needed. Our main job is to give them clear, step-by-step instructions. This way, they can follow along easily and feel like they are in charge of fixing it. For example, if a customer is having trouble with a program that stops working, we might want to explain about background tasks or memory problems. But that's a lot of technical detail. A much better way is to say, first, please close any other programs you might have open. Then try opening the program again. If that doesn't work, we'll try restarting your computer. This gives them real actions to take, one by one, making the process feel manageable. We are guiding them, not giving a long lecture. Sometimes, the best way to explain a technical idea is by comparing it to something they know from everyday life. This is where comparisons and examples are helpful. They act like bridges, connecting something new and possibly confusing to something the customer already knows and understands. Think of your computer's memory, for example. We know it as RAM, but for a customer, it can be explained like this. Think of your computer's memory like a desk. When you have too many papers and things on your desk, it becomes hard to find what you need and difficult to work. Your computer's memory is similar. When it's full, the computer can slow down. This simple comparison makes the idea of memory use much easier to understand. Another good example is explaining internet speed. We could talk about bandwidth and data transfer rates, but that's complicated. Instead, we can use the example of a pipe. Imagine your internet connection is like a pipe that carries information to your computer. If the pipe is narrow or blocked, only a little bit of information can flow through at a time, which makes things slow. If the pipe is wide and clear, information flows quickly. This picture helps the customer understand why their internet might be slow without needing to know the technical words. These comparisons make ideas that are hard to see feel real and easy to understand. Besides choosing the right words, the way we put our sentences together matters a lot. Long, winding sentences can be very hard for anyone to follow, especially when they are already worried about a technical problem. Imagine trying to follow a recipe with one very long sentence that lists 10 different steps. It's too much. Our sentences should be short, direct, and to the point. This makes them easier to understand, easier to remember, and less likely to cause confusion. Think about this. Instead of saying, to fix the problem with your software freezing, it is best to first close all other running programs, and then try to start the program you were having trouble with again. We can break it down. We can say, first, please close any other programs you have open. Then try opening the program again. This is much clearer, and each instruction is a simple, actionable step. Short sentences give the customer a moment to take in each piece of information before moving to the next. This is a very important part of simple English for tech help, making the information easy to take in. Using active voice is another strong tool in our simple language kit. In active voice, the person or thing doing the action is the main part of the sentence. In passive voice, the person or thing receiving the action is the main part. Active voice makes our instructions sound more direct, more sure, and easier to follow. For example, if we say, the button should be clicked, that's passive voice. It's a bit unclear. Who should click it? Who is doing the action? It's much clearer and more direct to say, click the button. This tells the customer exactly what they need to do. Let's look at another example. Instead of saying, a password reset will be done by our system, which uses passive voice and sounds a bit far away, we can say, our system will reset your password. Even better, if the customer needs to do something, we can say, "Please click the forgot password link." This is a direct order, telling the customer exactly what action to take. Active voice makes instructions feel more personal and immediate, which is exactly what a customer needs when they are looking for help. Now let's look at some specific things. What are the 3 most common technical words or phrases that help agents often use wrong, and what are their simple, customer-friendly ways to say them? First, the word cache. This is a technical word for a place where temporary information is stored to help things work faster. Customers often don't know what it is. Instead of saying, "You need to clear your browser cache," we can say, "Sometimes your web browser saves old information." That can cause problems. Let's try clearing that information to make sure you're seeing the newest version of the website. This explains why we are clearing the cache in simple terms. Second, firmware. This is software built into hardware. When a device needs an update, we might say, "You need to update the firmware." A simpler way to explain this is, your device has a small, built-in program that helps it work. It looks like this program needs to be updated to make sure everything runs smoothly. We're explaining that it's a program inside the device that needs updating, without using the complex word. Third, defragment. This is a process for organizing files on a hard drive. Instead of saying, "You need to defragment your hard drive," we can say, "Over time, files on your computer can get scattered, which can slow things down. We can run a tool to organize them better, like tidying up your filing cabinet." This comparison of tidying up a filing cabinet is much easier to understand than the technical word. The second question we need to think about is, how can a helper know if a customer is having trouble with simple words, and what specific phrases can they use to check if they understand without sounding like they are talking down to them? This is where our patience and understanding really show. We can listen carefully to what the customer says back. If they pause, if they repeat our words in a questioning way, or if they seem to be getting more confused instead of less, it's a sign they might be struggling. We can also check for understanding by asking questions that need more than a yes or no answer. Instead of asking, "Do you understand?" which often gets a quick yes even if it's not true, we can try phrases like, "Could you tell me in your own words what we just talked about?" So, just to make sure we are thinking the same way, what's the next step you will take? Does that make sense so far? What questions do you have about that step? I want to make sure I explained that clearly. What part of that might need more detail? These phrases encourage the customer to think about the information and show any areas where they are confused. They show that we care about them understanding and are willing to take the time to explain more. It's about working together, not just telling them what to do. We are partners in fixing this problem. This brings us to the third, and maybe most careful, question. What is the balance between using simple words and seeming not professional or like we are talking down to someone? And how can a helper find that balance well? This is a fine line, and it's very important for building trust. Using words that are too simple or speaking in a way that sounds like you are talking to a child can be just as bad as using jargon. The goal is to be clear, not to make them feel small. The main thing is to keep a professional, respectful tone while using clear, everyday words. It's about being easy to talk to, not talking down. Think of it like explaining something important to a smart friend who happens to be new to the topic. You wouldn't use complicated words, but you also wouldn't make it so simple that it sounds like you think they are not smart. Here's how to find that balance. Use respectful language. Always use polite words like please, thank you, and sir or ma'am if it fits the situation and the customer. Focus on the problem and solution. Keep the conversation about the technical issue and how to fix it. Avoid very casual talk that might seem unprofessional. Be real. Your tone of voice is very important. Speak calmly, clearly, and with real helpfulness. If you sound worried or impatient, the customer will notice. Offer choices when possible. Instead of saying you must do X, you might say, we have a couple of ways we can do this. We can try X, or we could try Y. Which sounds better to you? This gives the customer a feeling of being in control. Avoid very simple comparisons if a direct explanation is clear. If a customer understands basic computer words, you don't need to compare a file to a piece of paper. Use your best judgment based on what they say. The goal is to simplify difficult ideas, not all ideas. In the end, using simple words and phrases isn't about making the customer feel less smart. It's about giving them clear, actionable information. It's about showing that we are here to help them, that we value their time, and that we are committed to solving their problem. When we use simple English for tech help in this way, we are not just giving technical help. We are building. 3. Staying calm with upset customers. When a person calls, they often need help. But sometimes they are not just looking for help. They are upset. Maybe their computer stopped working right before an important time, or maybe they have had trouble with something before. When someone is upset, their voice might be louder, their words might be sharper, and they might sound very unhappy. This is where your skill in using English and your ability to stay calm becomes very important. Think of it like this. Imagine you were trying to fix something that breaks easily. If you rush, or if you use too much force, you might break it even more. But if you are patient, careful, and use the right tools, you can often fix it. Talking to an upset customer is like this. Your calm and clear English can be the right tool to fix a difficult situation. Understanding why someone is upset. It is easy to feel like you need to defend yourself when someone is angry. They might say things that feel like they are attacking you. But it is very important to remember that most of the time, their anger is not really about you. It is about the problem they are having. They might be feeling stressed, embarrassed, or worried because their technology is not working as it should. Think about Sarah. She works in tech support. One day, a customer, Mr. Henderson, called. He was shouting from the moment Sarah answered the phone. This is not right. My internet has been down for hours. I can't work. Sarah felt her own heart start to beat faster. It is natural to feel a bit scared or annoyed when someone is yelling. But Sarah took a deep breath. She knew Mr. Henderson was not angry at her. He was angry because his internet was broken and it was stopping him from doing his job. Knowing this is the first step. When you can see the customer's feelings separately from the technical problem, it becomes easier to stay calm. You can think, okay, he is upset because his internet is down. He needs my help to fix that. In English, we have phrases that can help show this understanding without agreeing with anything unfair. Instead of saying I didn't do anything wrong, which can sound like you are defending yourself, you can use phrases like, I understand this must be very upsetting for you. I can see why you are upset about this. I am sorry to hear you were having so much trouble with your internet. These phrases show that you hear the customer's feelings. They show you are listening and that you care about their experience. It is like saying, I hear you, and I understand this is difficult. This simple act of showing you understand their feelings can often help calm the conversation. It shows them that you are not an enemy, but someone who wants to help them solve their problem. The power of listening carefully in English. When someone is upset, they often just want to be heard. They want to explain their problem, sometimes in a lot of detail, and they want to feel like you are paying attention. This is where listening carefully comes in. It is more than just hearing the words. It is about understanding what the words mean and showing the customer that you are paying attention. Listening carefully in English involves several things. First, it means letting the customer speak without stopping them, even if they are saying the same thing again or talking about something a little off topic. Give them space to say what they are feeling. While they are speaking, you can use small sounds and short phrases to show you are listening. These are often called verbal nods. Simple sounds and short phrases like, uh-huh, I see, okay, These might seem very small, but they tell the customer, I am still here and I am listening to every word. After they have finished explaining, it is very helpful to say back what you heard. This shows that you understood their problem correctly and shows them you were paying close attention. You can say things like, so, if I understand correctly, the main problem is that your internet has been down for about 3 hours and you cannot connect to any websites? Let me just make sure I have this right. You mentioned that when you try to open the program, you get a message that says code 502. Is that right? By saying back what you heard, you are not only showing you listened, but you are also helping to focus the conversation on the actual technical problem. This can be very helpful when a customer is very emotional, as it gently guides them back to the main issue that needs to be solved. It is a key part of using English well to handle a difficult situation. Using language that shows you understand feelings. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. In tech support, showing empathy means putting yourself in the customer's place and understanding how frustrating it must be for them. When you use language that shows empathy, you are building a connection. You are showing that you see their struggle and that you are on their side. Sarah, our tech support agent, continued her call with Mr. Henderson. After he finished explaining his frustration, she said, Mr. Henderson, I am truly sorry you are experiencing this long internet outage. I can imagine how difficult and disruptive this must be, especially when you need to work. Notice the words Sarah used, truly sorry, imagine how difficult, disruptive. These are phrases that show empathy. They do not blame anyone and they do not make excuses. They simply show that you see the customer's difficult situation. Here are some other helpful phrases that show empathy you can use in English. I can understand how upsetting it must be to face this problem. I am really sorry for the trouble this has caused you. I know how important it is to have a working internet connection, so I want to help you get this fixed as quickly as possible. We will work together to get this fixed for you. Using these phrases helps to build trust. When a customer feels understood and that you genuinely want to help them, they are much more likely to work with you and be patient while you work on a solution. It changes the conversation from a fight into working together. This is a main part of good English for technical support, using language not just to give information, but to build relationships and help people understand each other. Staying calm and acting professionally, your own feelings can spread to others. If you sound stressed, annoyed, or impatient, the customer is likely to become even more upset. On the other hand, if you can stay calm, steady, and professional, even when the customer is not, you can often help to calm them down. This is true whether you are speaking on the phone or writing in an email or chat. Think about the difference between these two ways of speaking. Scenario 1: getting more upset. Customer: this is not right. My computer is frozen. Agent: well, what did you do to it? Sounds like you are blaming them. Scenario 2: calming down. Customer: this is not right. My computer is frozen. Agent: I understand your computer has frozen. I am here to help you figure out what is happening. Can you tell me what you were doing just before it froze? Sounds helpful and calm in the second scenario, The agent uses phrases like "I understand," "I am here to help," and asks a clear question that does not blame. This way of talking is much more likely to make the situation less tense. When speaking on the phone, your tone of voice is very important. Speak at a normal speed, not too fast and not too slow. Keep your voice at a normal, pleasant volume. Even if the customer is shouting, try to keep your own voice calm and steady. This shows that you are in control of the situation, even if the technology is not. In written messages, like emails or chat support, the words you choose and how you build your sentences show your tone. Do not use all capital letters, which can sound like shouting. Use polite words and make your sentences clear. Here are some phrases that show you are confident and in control without being rude. I will do my best to find a solution for you. Let's take this step by step to see if we can get it working again. I need to get a little more information to help you well. I am going to look into this for you right now. It is important to avoid language that sounds like you are defending yourself or blaming the customer. Phrases like "you should have" or "why did you" can make a customer feel attacked. Instead, focus on what can be done now. Setting limits gently and professionally. While it is important to be patient and show you understand feelings, there are times when a customer's behavior might go too far. They might become hurtful, use bad language, or refuse to cooperate in a way that makes it impossible to help them. In these situations, you need to be able to set limits professionally without making the situation worse. This is a skill that needs careful handling, and it requires careful use of English. The goal is to change the conversation or state a necessary limit without making the customer feel attacked or ignored. Imagine a situation where a customer is yelling insults. You have tried to calm them down, but they continue. You might need to say something like, "Mr. Smith, I want to help you solve this problem, but I need you to speak to me calmly. I cannot help you well if you continue to use that kind of language." This phrase does a few things. 1. Says again that you want to help. I want to help you solve this problem. 2. States what is needed. But I need you to speak to me calmly. 3. Explains what will happen if it continues. I cannot help you well if you continue to use that kind of language. This is not about punishing the customer. It is about creating a situation where you can help them. Another example, if a customer is refusing to follow simple directions to help you best, can we focus on the technical problem we need to solve? I need to guide you through these steps to see if we can fix it. This gently guides them back to the task and explains why the steps are important. It is also important to know when to ask a supervisor or a more experienced colleague for help if the situation becomes too difficult or if the customer continues to be hurtful even after your efforts. You can say, "I have done all I can at this moment. Perhaps speaking with my supervisor might be helpful. Would you like me to connect you?" Using English to set limits requires confidence and a clear understanding of what is acceptable and what is not. It is about protecting yourself and making sure that the help you provide remains effective. The way you think and your approach more than the specific phrases and methods. The most powerful tool you have is your way of thinking. Staying calm with upset customers is not just about remembering words. It is about developing a way of thinking. The main idea is this: you are the professional. You are there to solve a problem. The customer's frustration is a sign that they need your knowledge. By staying calm and using your English skills well, you are showing your professionalism and your ability to handle difficult situations. This way of thinking includes not taking it personally, not seeing the customer's anger as an attack on you, seeing it as a reaction to the situation, focusing on solving the problem, keeping your attention on finding a solution. Every word you say, every question you ask should be aimed at fixing the technical issue. Patience is a strength, understanding that some problems take time to figure out and fix, and that customers who are upset may need more time and reassurance. Understanding feelings is a strategy. Knowing that understanding and acknowledging the customer's feelings is not a weakness, but a powerful way to calm them down and build a good relationship. How can English help support this way of thinking? By practicing the phrases we have talked about, you are not just learning words, you are practicing the behavior of. 4. The power of patience in communication. When someone calls for help with a computer problem, they might sound unhappy. Maybe their internet is very slow, or their printer will not print. They could sound upset, maybe even a little mad. It can feel a bit stressful when you hear that in their voice. But this is where a very important tool in your tech help box comes in: being patient. Think of patience like a gentle hand. When someone is feeling worried or upset, a patient way of talking can help calm them down. It's like turning down the loud noise of their worry. When you speak in a calm voice and listen without cutting them off, you are sending a clear message: I hear you and I want to help. This simple act of being patient can stop a small problem from becoming a big, emotional one. It shows the person that you are not getting upset by their feelings, which in turn helps them feel safer and less alone with their problem. This calm way of being is the first step in good English for tech help. It's not just about knowing the right English words. It's about using those words in a way that makes the person feel safe and supported. When you stay patient, you create a safe space for the person to explain their problem fully. They feel heard, and this feeling of being understood is very important. It's the base on which you can start to build a solution. Patience also helps you think more clearly. When you are not feeling rushed or reacting to someone's stress, your mind is free to focus on the problem. You can remember all the steps you need to take, all the questions you need to ask, and the best way to explain things simply. It's like clearing away fog, so you can see the path ahead. And when you can think clearly, you can explain things more clearly. This is where English really helps in tech support. A patient helper can take their time to find the right words, to break down hard steps into easy instructions. Instead of saying something technical that might confuse the person, a patient person might say, "Let's try this together. First, can you look at the small light on the side of your computer? What color is it?" This kind of gentle, step-by-step help, given with patience, makes a big difference. Think about Sarah. She works in tech help and is learning English. One afternoon, a person named Mr. Lee called. He was very upset because his new smart TV was not connecting to his Wi-Fi. He had already tried many things and was feeling very sad. He spoke fast and sounded worried. "It just won't work." Mr. Lee said, his voice tight with worry, "I spent so much money on this, and it's useless." Sarah took a deep breath. She could hear the worry in his voice, but she did not let it make her feel rushed. She remembered what she learned. Stay calm, be patient. "Hello, Mr. Lee," Sarah said, her voice soft and steady. "I understand this is very upsetting, and I am truly sorry you are having trouble. Let's work through this together step by step. We will figure it out." She paused, giving him a moment to hear her calm voice. Then she asked, "Could you tell me what you see on the TV screen right now?" Mr. Lee, perhaps surprised by Sarah's calm answer, took a moment. "It says no internet connection," he said, his voice a little less sharp. Sarah nodded, even though he could not see her. "Okay, thank you for telling me. That helps me understand. Now, let's check the Wi-Fi box. Do you see a small light blinking on the front of your Wi-Fi box?" As Sarah continued to guide Mr. Lee, she used simple English words. She did not use confusing tech words. She asked him to confirm what he saw or did at each step. When Mr. Lee got confused. She did not sigh or sound impatient. Instead, she would say, "That's okay, Mr. Lee. Let's try that part again. Imagine you were looking for a little green light. Can you see it?" Because Sarah was patient, Mr. Lee started to calm down. He felt like Sarah was on his side, not just another person telling him what to do. He was able to listen better and follow her instructions. After about 20 minutes of patient, clear help, Mr. Lee's TV connected to the Wi-Fi. "Oh, it's working, Mr. Lee said, a big smile in his voice. "Thank you, Sarah. You were so patient with me. I was getting so worried, but you helped me stay calm." Sarah smiled. "I am so glad we could get it working for you, Mr. Lee. That is what I am here for." This talk is a perfect example of good English for tech help working. Sarah did not just know how to fix the TV. She knew how to use her English and her patience to make Mr. Lee feel supported and understood. The problem was solved, and Mr. Lee ended the call feeling happy and relieved, not worried. Now, let's think about the other way. What if Sarah had been impatient? Imagine she had said, "Just check your Wi-Fi box, it's easy." Or, "Are you sure you are doing it right? It is not that hard." Mr. Lee would likely have become even more upset. He might have felt blamed, or that Sarah did not care about his problem. He might have hung up, still upset, and perhaps even complained about the service. Not being patient, especially when mixed with unclear English, can quickly turn a problem that can be solved into a lost customer and a bad name for the company. Patience is also key to stopping misunderstandings. When you are in a hurry, it is easy to skip a small detail, or to think the person understands something that they do not. For example, if you tell someone to restart the modem, they might not know what restart means or where their modem is. A patient helper will take the time to explain. Restart means turning the device off and then on again. Your modem is usually a small box with lights on it, often near where your internet cable comes into your home. This careful explanation, given with patience, makes sure the person knows exactly what to do. When you are patient, you are actively building trust. People are often in a difficult spot when they call for tech help. They have a problem they cannot solve themselves, and they might feel embarrassed or worried about looking silly. Your patient and understanding way of talking shows them that you are a reliable friend. You are not judging them, you are there to help them. This trust is very valuable. It makes the person more willing to follow your advice and more likely to have a good experience, even if the problem is hard. The long-term effect of patience is important. A person who gets patient and clear help is more likely to feel happy with the service. They will remember that you took the time to help them properly. This happiness can lead to them coming back for future help, telling others about your company, and even leaving good reviews. On the other hand, a single impatient talk can lead to a person leaving forever and possibly telling many people about their bad experience. It is often worth taking a few extra minutes to be patient and make sure a person feels well cared for. So, how do we actually show patience when we are talking to someone on the phone, especially when they are upset? It's about the words we choose and the way we say them. Instead of, "You need to restart your computer." Let's try restarting your computer together. This often helps fix small problems. "Could you please save any work you have open?" Instead of, "That is not the right setting." "I see that setting. Let's try changing it a little." "Could you click on the picture that looks like a gear?" Instead of, "I already told you that." "I understand this can be confusing. Let me explain that step again, just to be sure we are on the same page." These phrases, said in a calm and steady voice, are the building blocks of patient talking. They show you understand the person's situation, offer to work together, and guide them gently. They are important parts of good English for tech help turning possible arguments into working together. Think about how a person's feelings affect their ability to understand. When people are stressed or angry, their minds are focused on those feelings. It's like trying to read a book in a noisy room. The words are there, but it's hard to focus on them. Patience helps to quiet that noisy room. By speaking calmly and showing you understand their worry, you help the person to relax. As they relax, they can start to focus on your words and the instructions you were giving. This makes them much more likely to understand and follow through. What specific English phrases can we use to show patience? Here are a few more examples. I understand this is a bit hard, but we will get through it. Take your time. There is no rush. Let's go back to that step. What do you see on your screen now? Thank you for your patience while we sort this out. This is good to use if the problem is taking a while. I appreciate you explaining that to me. That helps me understand the situation better. These phrases are not just polite. They actively calm down tension and encourage a more helpful talk. They show that you are actively listening and valuing what the person is experiencing. A short example of how not being patient could lead to a bad result. Imagine a person calls because their new program is not installing. The helper, feeling rushed, quickly says, "Did you run the installer as administrator?" The person, not sure what that means, says, "I don't know." The helper sighs loudly and says, "Just click your right mouse button on the file and select Run as administrator." It's simple. The person, feeling silly and annoyed, tries it, but still has trouble. They hang up feeling upset and decide to return the program. A bad experience, all because of not being patient and giving a slightly unclear instruction. Now, imagine the same situation with a patient helper. The helper hears the person's confusion. "I understand that phrase might not be familiar," the helper says kindly. "When you see the installation file, it's the one with the little picture. I would like you to click your right mouse button on it." A small list will appear. In that list, you should see an option that says Run as administrator. Can you see that? This patient, step-by-step explanation, using simple English, makes it much more likely the person will succeed and feel good about the help they received. Patience is not just about being nice. It's a smart skill. It allows us to use our English language skills better. It helps us to listen better, think clearer, and explain more simply. When we are patient, we are not just fixing a tech problem, we are building a bridge of understanding and trust with the person. This is the heart of good English for tech help. By understanding and practicing patience, we lay the groundwork for truly good tech help. However, patience alone is not enough. The next important part in our talking tools is the ability to explain difficult tech issues in a way that is not only correct, but also very easy for any person to understand. Conclusion: you have finished our journey, and that is a great thing. We started this path to learn that speaking English well is more than just knowing new words. It is about building ways to understand each other when technology is hard. You have learned that talking well in tech help is a strong tool, and English is the way to use it best. Now, you have the skills to fix computer problems and to do it with belief, kindness, and clear words that make a big change. Remember what we learned about being patient. You have learned how to use nice words to calm people, how to really listen in English, and how to help someone with a problem one step at a time without hurrying. Good English helps you say things like, "I know this is hard, let's fix it together." This helps people feel less angry. We saw how certain English words can give you time to think, so you can stay calm even when things are busy. Talking clearly was very important. You now have ways to say hard tech things in simple, clear English. Think about how you can explain difficult words in easy, everyday language. Good English means picking the right words so people don't get confused. We practiced using examples, asking questions to make sure we understood, and saying, "Did you get it?" In English, being able to say "turn it off" and on again in many different clear and nice ways shows how good you were getting at speaking English for tech help. And when people are upset, you have learned how to talk calmly in English. This does not mean not feeling anything. It means using your English to show you care and to stay in control. We looked at words that show you hear their feelings without agreeing they are right if they blame you. We also learned how to bring the talk back to finding a fix, all in clear, polite English. Good English for tech support means knowing when to say sorry, when to offer help, and how to be polite, even when it's hard to talk. These three things, being patient, talking clearly, and staying calm, work together. Your skill in talking well in English lets you do all of them. Think about the people you will help. With your better English, they will feel like you hear them, understand them, and they will be less upset. They will finish talking to you feeling like their problem was fixed fast and with respect. Good English changes a bad moment into a good one. It helps people trust you and want to come back. You are not just fixing machines, you are fixing problems for people, and your clear, patient English makes it easier and more human. For you, the person who helps, speaking English well for tech support makes you feel more sure of yourself. You will feel more able and less worried when you get tough calls. It can lead to better jobs. Companies like people who can talk well with all kinds of customers. You will feel happy knowing you made a real difference, not just by fixing a computer, but by giving great help. And for the company you work for, good English for tech support means happier customers, fewer problems that need a boss, and a better name for the company. It helps people stay customers and like the company more. This book's main idea is that English is more than a language, it is a way to connect. And good English for tech support is the best way to connect a customer's problem to its answer. Learning never stops. The skills you have learned are a strong start, but you get better by doing. Do not be afraid to use the words and ways we talked about. Every time you talk to someone is a chance to get better at speaking English for tech help. Find ways to practice. Listen to English tech help calls, read English tech articles, and talk with people. There will be times when you hear new tech words or people with hard-to-understand voices. See these as chances to learn, not as problems. Remember, you can ask for help to understand. Can you say that again, please? Or I'm not sure I heard that right. Can you say it another way? Are good questions and show you want to be clear. The more you do it, the easier speaking English for tech help will be. You will find yourself helping people easily, fixing problems, and making good friends. Your skill in talking with patience and clarity in English will be your special power in tech help. Go and help with belief, clear words, and the power of good English. The world of tech help is waiting for your patient, clear voice.